What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Pens and Tea. My name is Carrie, and today we might get into a little bit of hot water. I don't know. We'll find out. I was cruising the tubes of you a little while ago, and I came across a video from Stephen Brown. And by came across, I mean it came up in my subscription. So, really didn't have to look that hard. But he talked about how the pen companies failed the pen community. And I thought that was a fascinating video. So I thought I would kind of have my own spin on that. Because when I watched that video, when I saw the title of that video, I was like, really? Like, what? And then I watched the video and I was like, you know what? He makes some darn good points. Like, he makes a lot of good points. And I took a few days and I kept thinking about it over the next few days. Not intentionally. You know, sometimes a video just sticks with you. And it kept coming back to me and coming back to me and coming back to me. And when I was in the shower yesterday, it popped in my head again and I kept thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? The only way I'm going to stop thinking about it is if I just make a video about it. So that's what I'm doing. This is sort of a response to Stephen Brown, but not really a response at all. Just sort of taking his video and running with it. So before getting into my video, I highly recommend that you watch Stephen's video, or at the very least, when you're done mine, if you haven't watched his, go watch it, because he did it first, and I'm just sort of copying, essentially. Because he made some really good points in there. And without his video, this one wouldn't exist. So, Stephen, thank you. I appreciate it. The link to his video will be in the description down below. So let's get started. There's mainly two things that came to my mind when I think about how pen companies are failing the pen community. And really, I think some of it is inevitable. Some of it is probably on purpose. Some of it is just happenstance. And some of it is what we allow. So the very first point, and I have my 2 points written down. And I wrote, no care for well-tuned nibs. There are always some that do, and others place burden on retail. So there are some companies, usually smaller companies, that take the time to test every pen that they send out. And this is what I mean by some of it is inevitable. I feel like once you get to a certain size of a pen manufacturing company, the ability to test every single pen just doesn't exist anymore. But a lot of the smaller places, so Brian Edison Pen Company, I don't know if he specifically still does. I doubt he specifically does, but somebody from his team will test every nib. Lamy does, but they got some serious issues, so I don't know what they're doing there. But there are other pen companies, some that I love and own many of, that are terrible. Terrible, that are very large companies. They make beautiful pens, but their nib quality is garbage. Absolutely garbage. Because they don't test their nibs. Sometimes they're bent tines, sometimes they're scratchy, sometimes they don't write well. And when I say don't write well, I mean I don't necessarily mean the stiffness or the flow, because that is super individualistic. I mean that literally the tines are misaligned. There's no flow, or it burps, or there's serious problems. And a lot of these companies will put the burden to the retailers. So there are some retailers, so Pen Venture, Applebaum, that will tune the nibs, or Dan Smith from Nibsmith, they will tune the nibs before they send them out if you request it. To my knowledge, they don't charge extra for it, but I'm sure depending on the volume that they get, they do factor that into the pricing of their pens. And I'm sure quite a few people do take advantage of that because it also then slows their ability to fulfill your order. Because, yeah, and there are certain pens that I order that I almost always say, yes, please tune it, because that pen company that I'm purchasing from is just known to not have the best quality. In fact, I did buy a pen, didn't have that happen, and now I have to send it away because it's garbage. Oh boy, I got a Parker hair in my eye. Apologies. So I think that is definitely something that pen companies fail, the pen community with, because can you imagine if that was like your first experience with the fountain pen and you got a pen like that and it was garbage? But to some extent, and Stephen Brown talked about this too, like we allow this to happen. And I've said it myself, I've thought it myself, depending, like it doesn't matter what the price is, whether it's a $5 pen, whether it's a $5,000 pen, there's always the chance that it may not write well. And we allow that to happen. You know what I mean? So like, if all of a sudden people stop supporting a certain pen company because their quality assurance essentially on their nibs is trash, then you better believe that they're going to all of a sudden care about their nibs. But they don't. And we don't. So why would they? Why would they stop what they're doing, invest more time and energy and money into fixing it when we still purchase their pens? So it goes both ways. It goes both ways. Do I think that the ownership should be with them? Yes. But we choose to support them anyways. And when I say we, I mean the pen community. And me too. So there's definitely that. And that I think is a big one. And then the other one that really is starting to grind my gears, and it never did really until the last, I would say year or two. And that is, I feel like pen companies are just making pens for money now. And it's a company. Of course they're going to make pens. But I mean, it's just cost for cost's sake. With all of these limited editions coming out, they're capitalizing more and more and more on FOMO, and it sort of takes it away from being special anymore. There's just so many special editions, limited editions, that just used to mean something. It used to mean something if a company put out a limited or special edition of something, because it didn't happen very often. And you were like, holy smokes, this is amazing. And for when the Lamy 2000 came out, for example, and then they made the blue Bauhaus one. That was a big deal because they've never done another color of the Lamy 2000. But then the brown came out the following year after that, and it wasn't as special. No one cared as much. In fact, you can still buy it. The blue went so fast. I mean, first of all, the blue's nice, and I do own them. The blue went so fast because everyone was like, wow, this is incredible. And then the blue and the brown came out, and they're like, whatever, it happened last year. And I'm sure they're going to do another one. So, when every single retailer is getting exclusive whatevers, or, it seems like there's a new limited or special edition every other day from something. And while I do buy them, because some of them do genuinely look amazing, more often than not, I'm just like, what else is new? Even with Kavecos now, there's so many. There's that come out, or like Lamy with the All-Stars and the Safaris and stuff that come out every year. It's like, okay, what else is new? Pelican does a lot. There's just so many. And even Visconti, their Homo sapien line. And again, I own two of them. I have the Midnight in Florence, and I did buy the Arizona Sunset. But it's like, what else is new? You do it all the time, and it's not special anymore. It's taking away that, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Okay, Diamine ink vent calendars. The first year that came out, you could not get your hands on it. It was so cool. And it was just like, wow, this is amazing. Holy smokes, finally something cool that, we haven't seen in forever. And then it's come out every single year since. And it's like, whatever. I don't care anymore. So it's like we've lost some of that special factor, that sparkle on top of everything. that it's just like, okay, well, yeah, now you're just making money and whatever. Like, you know, they're just capitalizing on FOMO. And I hate that a little bit. So I wish we would get significantly less limited edition. The ones that even bother me more are like the retail exclusive ones, because pretty much every retail exclusive like finish of the pen is like, they're almost identical. There's just like a slight difference, and I'm just like, whatever. So it's just like the little things, you know what I mean? And those are the main two that kind of came to my mind. The special edition and limited edition ones, those are ones that probably grind my gears even more than the nibs, because at the very least, you can get the nibs tuned. I mean, you shouldn't have to, but I don't know. This is, I think, why I keep thinking about this topic, because I'm like, I don't know how to officially express what I want to say. But those are the main two things that I think is like, they're letting us down with poor nib quality. And not every company. I want to put that out there. Not every company. There's some companies that are on point. Like Bennu, thus far, from what I can see, every nib has been dynamite. And even with a company that puts in the time and the energy, I'm sure one of every like 1,000 pens or whatever, you know, might slip through. And that happens. It's human error. I'm not expecting that. But the vast majority of the time, you know, on point. So there's a lot of companies that do put that time and effort, but they're smaller companies typically. It's the bigger bad ones that like, you know, just don't have that anymore. And it goes both ways. Like I said, they get away with it. We allow them, and it just kind of continues. And then, yeah, just the cost for cost's sake of like limited and special editions. Like, they're not special anymore. And that makes me sad. But those are my two main gripes, I think, of how the pen community or pen companies are letting the pen community down a little bit. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think, you know, and how the pen companies are failing the communities a little bit. Steven, thank you for making this video and sort of inspiring me to make my own about it. Like I said, if you haven't checked his out, link is in the description below. If you're down there already, do hit the link for my Patreon if you want to help support me and what I do here. Smash the like button and then subscribe. New videos every Monday and Friday that are pen related, and then random videos on Tuesday that lately have been fitness related. I don't know why. But yeah, guys, if you're still watching this far in, I appreciate your faces. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye. Well, all right. Today it is time to say thank you to all of my Patreons. I am so grateful for you. Today is July 3rd, so if you do not see or hear your name, just be patient. I update it as soon as I can. So for our ultimate human, we got Daniel Roddy. And then for my VIPs, we have Glenn Kelly, Joan Worthman, Brian Hunter, Aaron C., Luna Wolf Games, Bobby A. Bailey, Bass, Weilei Chang, Brian Law, Lucas Bell, Aubrey Madcourt, Marissa Calvo, Eric Lineman, Jessica Chow, Stephen Baldwin, Carol Lowry, Michael Simon, Sean Sturdy, Catherine Molina, Robert Myers, Bill Pemberton, Karen Epstein, Gretchen Peters, Subi1 Kenobi, Bianca Andrews, and Digital10.tech. And lastly, but not least, McCall Bennett Lawrence. So thank you to everyone, no matter the tier you're in, whether it's bottom or top, does not matter. You all make what I do here possible. Thank you.